But Prophet Muhammad never kept 9 wives at the same time.
Brother, that's what you're telling us one thing, and Sahih al-Bukhari is telling us something else.
Yes, exactly.
Aisha tells us something else. So I just ask you, if Aisha says that Muhammad had 9 wives at one time, and you tell us, no, he only had 4, whom should we listen to, Aisha or you?
Yes.
I'm
going
sorry?
to actually, brother, if you just give me a second, I'm going to actually give you the references from Sahih Bukhari. Sahih Muslim says that when Muhammad died, he left behind 9 wives. So
Yeah,
okay, brother, let me make my point, please.
Okay, you could say this is my ex-wife.
No,
brother, that's not what we're talking about.
Brother, we let you make your point. Please let me make the point, and then you can respond. The hadith does not say that Muhammad had 9 wives at various times, not all at once. It says when he died, he left 9 wives as widows. So at his death, he left behind 9 wives as widows, 9 wives that he was married to. That's in the Hadith Bukhari, Muslim, Al-Tabari. I'm going to get you the references so you don't think we're making it up. So that is not a true statement. If you want to reject Bukhari and Muslim and Tabari, then tell us, I don't believe what Bukhari says, I don't care what Muslim says, I don't care what Tabari says, or Ibn Ishaq. If that's your position, that's one thing.
If you want to talk about women, the total number of wives Muhammad had, Al-Tabari gives the number at 15.
There is a lot of reason, okay, for marrying more than one woman. Okay.
Well, notice we weren't criticizing polygamy. We believe that polygamy is wrong, but our objection was not to the fact that the Quran allows Muslims to have 4 wives. We did not raise that objection at all. What we objected to was the fact that while the Quran allows Muslims to have up to 4 wives, Muhammad had more. And again, he had approximately 15 wives throughout his life. He had 9 wives at one time. And but before Sam reads you the passages, just let me ask you this one question. If we can give you authentic narrations that go back to Muhammad's companions, saying that Muhammad had more than 4 wives at one time, if Muhammad had more than 4 wives at one time, would you be willing to question whether he is a true prophet, since he is not living according to the standard he applied to everyone else?
Okay, even I don't believe he had more than four wives at the time.
I'm asking if it turns out to be.
Even if he did, okay, there is also a reason for that, which is to spread the religion through his wife's family. Okay.
Brother, can I, before you bring up another point to justify that he married 9 wives, let me give you the references. This is Sahih Bukhari, Volume 7, Book 62, number 5. Let me repeat the reference for those listening. Sahih Bukhari, Volume 7, Book 62, number 5, narrated Atta. We presented ourselves along with Ibn Abbas at the funeral procession of Maymuna. Maymuna was one of Muhammad's wives, at a place called Sarif. Ibn Abbas said, this is the wife of the Prophet, so when you lift her bier, meaning her casket, do not jerk it or shake it much, but walk smoothly, because the Prophet had 9 wives, and he used to observe the night turns with 8 of them, and for one of them there was no night turn. That's Sauda bin Zama, which I will discuss in a minute. Now that was Sahih Bukhari, Volume 7, Book 62, number 5. Now let me give you the Sirah, Sirat Rasulullah by Ibn Ishaq, which was edited by Ibn Hisham. Let me give you what he says. And this is now translated in English. Sirat Rasulullah by Ibn Ishaq is translated in English by Alfred Ghulame. It's titled in English, The Life of Muhammad, a translation of Ibn Ishaq's Sirat Rasulullah. This comes from page 794. This is the oldest available Sirah, biography on the life of Muhammad. Page 794, the Apostle consummated his marriage with 11 women, 2 of whom died before him, namely Khadija and Zainab. He died, leaving the 9 we have mentioned. When Muhammad died, he was married to 9 women. Here are your 2 earliest, or one of them your earliest source, and here's a narration from your most authentic collection of narrations saying, when Muhammad died, he had 9 wives. So he did. So now if you're going to agree with us and say, okay, he did have 9 wives, and then come up with a justification, that's a different story. But do you agree with your sources that when Muhammad died, he left behind 9 wives that he was married to? Do you agree with that?
I don't believe that, and I'm going to ask you this question.
Okay.
You're allowed to have one wife, okay, by Christianity, right?
Mm-hmm.
But how many girlfriends can you have?
None.
100?
0.
Brother, none. To have a girlfriend and to be intimate with her without being married to her, the Bible calls it fornication. Fornication is an evil sin in the eyes of God. So when you tell me in Christianity, in true biblical Christianity, if I want to be intimate with a woman, I have to marry her. Now let me give you the proof for that. 1 Corinthians 7, verses 1 to 5. And amazingly, this comes from the command of the Apostle Paul, the blessed apostle of Jesus, whom Muslims vilify and say he corrupted Christianity. And what's interesting is that this so-called corrupter of Christianity, his moral teaching was superior to Muhammad's. Here's what he says about marriage. Should we have girlfriends if we want to have sex, or should we get married? 1 Corinthians 7, let me read it, brother, please, and then I'll let you comment. 1 Corinthians 7, verses 1 to 5. Let me read this, and I want you to show me anything similar in the Quran to the instructions of this blessed apostle of the Lord Jesus. Just something similar. Let me read it, please, and then you can make a comment or bring up a question. 1 Corinthians 7, verses 1 to 5. Now concerning the things about which you wrote, it is good for a man not to touch a woman. You're telling me how many girlfriends I can have. He's saying don't touch a woman sexually. But let's continue. But because of immoralities, each man is to have his own wife. Not each man should have his own girlfriend. Each man should have his own wife, and each woman is to have her own husband. Just like a woman can only have one husband, the man can only have one wife. The husband must fulfill his duty to his wife, and likewise also the wife to her husband. The wife does not have authority over her own body, but the husband does. And likewise also, the husband does not have authority over his own body, but the wife does. So according to the teachings, the true teachings of Jesus and his apostles, I cannot have a girlfriend. If I want to be intimate with a woman, I must marry her and have only one wife, and a woman can only have one husband. My body's not mine, it's hers, and her body's not hers, it's mine, and we need to respect and love each other. Yet, brother, my brother in humanity, and I pray one day you'll be my brother in faith. If you go to Surah Al-Baqarah, chapter 2, and you read verses 2 to 3, the Quran says, your women are your field. Plow into your field the way you want. Is that a respectable way to talk about a woman? To liken her to field that you can plow into, property?
Can you read that ayah in Arabic for me?
And while my friend Sam is pulling up the passage, I would just ask my friend, because our Muslim friend was obviously upset at the thought of having sex with women who are not your wives. I agree completely. My friend Sam here agrees completely. You should not be having sex with anyone, any woman who is not your wife. So, my friend, I'll ask another question. If we can show you that according to your Quran, you can have sex with women that you are not married to, would this bother you about Islam?
Did you hear his question, brother?
No.
Okay, let him repeat the question.
And then Sam will read the passage that you asked for. What I asked was this: it seemed to bother you at the thought of a Christian man having sex with a woman who is not his wife. Now, as Sam has shown, that is not allowed in Christianity. But we agree that it would be a problem, that it is a problem if some religion teaches that you can have sex with women who are not your wife.